Aron has recently retired after KOA 8. Since KOA 7, this man has tried his best to teach me information that I know for certain will remain invaluable for the rest of this game's lifespan. Welcome, Aron.
Hi guys, it's Aaron. I've been before you since COA 6. I've been there for all IVTs, and I recently retired after last COA 8.
So sad. If you guys don't know, Aron knows, but we are going to IVS very soon. So sad once again, Aron will not be with us this time. We are reviewing the finals of IVT. This was Aron's idea. I'm like, why not? Alright, so Aron didn't actually partake in this BP a lot. That was one of the things that we had to talk about if he were to help us, is that he felt kind of behind on the BP. So right here, if I remember our practices, Gravekeeper was always stable and Magician was always in practice. And based on Pitt's band picks, we thought Anti shouldn't be ignored. And so we took the opportunity. We took Anti not only for this Hullabaloo that he decided to play, which was unexpected, but also his other hunters like Goatman and Sangria. And then Meteor was Yudo, that was one of his mains, and that was his comfort.
It was also the last character picked, so he took it without hesitation because it wasn't globally banned.
What do you think of this spawn?
This is very standard. The spawn just makes sure that the person who's behind doesn't have to kite as long, because if they're chased, that means the hunter spawns either up or down, which also means there's no cipher blocked, which means all ciphers will be going down really fast at the same time. Nothing much for Pitt's POV. He just wanted to chase probably either the person on his left or the person on the bottom, and that's it. For the
Nice.
builds, you can tell that Yudo had Tide, so that's why the spawn was actually useful for him. And then Green and Schmiddy both have flywheels. They didn't necessarily need broken windows, because I think they were prepared for a Goatman. And if it's a Goatman, honestly, broken windows isn't going to help you much. Alright, so something we knew for Pit Stoppers is that he doesn't necessarily always chase or commit to the same person. So here, everyone was ready to be chased regardless. Roland takes chase, he has good distance. If he didn't, he would have died very fast. He thought the bot was broken there, but apparently it wasn't. That's why he kept going. And then here, he doesn't really have much leeway. He's just gonna keep dodging and dodging. Unfortunately, he gets hit. And now he vaults. No, you guys might think that's a risky vault, but because the clown was on the same side, it didn't hit him. So it was actually safe as long as, he vaulted within the animation. He went back into shovel. Nothing much going. He's just gonna try to keep juking. That was lucky, Roland. And then he goes again. He gets a double color. Well played from Pit. And then he goes for risky vaults again. Roland really didn't want to die in 60 seconds at all. He really took his chances. And then here he tries to hug the wall, but he wasn't able to. And I believe this is where Roland's going to die.
Holy shit! I mean, like that guy was, he kited like 40 seconds on one pallet. Like, what do you think that's just the power of good ping? I'm sure Roland has very good ping. He had to have had good ping to do that.
I think it's a combination of good ping and also Pitt's slightly like getting confused what the hell Roland was doing. And basically Roland was pushing his luck and it worked out every time, and Pitt was probably like, huh, what the hell just happened every time. So mix of luck and a bit of confusion on Pitt's part.
Right, okay. So, if you see this kite, what would you think the survivor should do?
Die. Survivors should tie. Their mindset should be, if we save, we should not mess up a save. That's a tie. If we don't save at all, that's a tie. That should be the survivor's mindset. With that said, they want to pop as much ciphers as possible. Schmiddy tries to sneak a save, like you could see, but Pitt had to push him back. Now Yudo is in position, but Yudo gets sniped. and because of that, Yudo is thinking less about that rescue now. But everyone is basically saying, if you give us a rescue, we'll take it. But if you just stay there, we're just gonna keep decoding.
All right. So Yudo's in control. This is basically like a 1v1. Do you think Yudo should be saving right now?
No. He should be saving only when he can be like, I can get this for free, or at least make sure I don't get double hit.
Okay, so now what's the next step? Just a good second kite, right?
Yeah, just make sure that everyone is far away, everyone has their items ready, obviously, and everyone does not get into chase immediately. With that said, survivors should already start thinking about endgame and about the fact that they don't have who has borrowed time, who doesn't. Green gets a good stun there. Unfortunately, Pit has to jump twice because it wasn't specifically accurate. And then Pit should be getting hit on this anti very soon. That's the last flute. And then Pit should be getting hit very soon. That's a very good flywheel. Unfortunately, Pit was not able to hit him anyway because the color wasn't correct. And then Green gets another color, and with that said, now Green is probably telling his team that I'm gonna die in like 10 to 20 seconds. I can't give you guys anymore. There he is. Now the Hunter interestingly chairs in middle near the last cipher, so that means he's going for the cipher. So Survivor's mindset is probably, okay, he wants to get the cipher, which means he's probably not even gonna try to camp that chair. So with that information, Schmidty is already taken his distance and he's prepared to make sure to die away from the cipher. That's Schmidty's goal right now. He's prioritizing die one away from the cipher. Good one from Schmidty, takes the hit. As long as he can kite for 20 seconds, he's probably gonna do much better. Oh, he took advantage of Pit, and Schmidty's been very good at this. Every time he sees that you switch your color, he's just gonna stay at the wall. And this is the unfortunate part. Pit is able to snipe Yudo, and because Yudo does not have borrowed time, he is dead, and there is nothing the team can do about it. And that's how a good game unfortunately turned into 4K. Because those 3 seconds changed the game, and even if Green was able to pop, it wouldn't have changed much, and Yudo would have died. Even if he got up, he would have been chased because, well, he's very far away from the chair. He can't do anything. He would eventually die, and then Green would just be at the gate, but he wouldn't be able to do anything because Pit would have would have the trait. If Pit delayed his pressure on Yudo for any longer, Yudo would have been able to get the save, and it would have been a completely different game. Well played by Pit.
I mean, yeah, literally, the tables were turned by 5 seconds of just stuffing a save. That's how important rescues are. And I mean, what do you think Yudo should have done there? What should they have kited as long as they could? Should they have positioned better?
To be honest, the mistakes like this are just about positioning, and there were probably like some lack of comms because obviously Schmidty knew what he was doing. He was trying to die away from the cipher. There probably were confusion about who's gonna go save and what's gonna happen right after that, and also the fact that Yudo didn't have borrowed time basically didn't give him a second chance at all.
All right, now I'm going first again, round 2 on Red Church, and I'm pretty sure I go Sangria here against a Cord, Finn, Acro, and Merc. So I'm pretty familiar with these characters on this map with this hunter. Practiced a lot, especially from when Aron was actually still coaching us. We would practice a lot of Red Church Sangria based on this spawn. Based on this spawn and the team comp, there was not someone that could comfortably kite on the left side. Kiting on the left side is very, very difficult against a Sangria, and you need to like have a tight kiting ability. And in this case, it was the Cord. This is different from what Aron is used to, where I spawn on the top right. In this game, I decided I'm gonna spawn top left and chase the person on the left. It was the Cord, and I was I maybe had a thought in my mind like maybe I would chase Finn middle, but I was committed to the idea. I was committed to chasing this cord. I had a standard blank. I wanted to dash just as quickly as possible, and I see the scratch marks, and very soon I realized that this person does not even want to kite here. So this court is in the open, and there is a 50-50 that I can get it right here. I can use this tree, and I dashed. It was. Oh, let me replay that. Let me replay that. This is something as a hunter that you can really only decide by seconds. This court is in the open to make it more likely to hit this gun, but this tree I used it and just made a decision. I went through with it. I didn't hesitate on, oh wait, let me double back. Oh wait. I'll just stay here for a second. I literally, when I went to this tree, I was immediately already thinking I'm gonna dash and just hit. That is what I was gonna do. And there's no way a cord can really predict that. They can only really cord can't like react to that. They can only really predict it. And I happen to just win it, and this is very, very good for me right here. Graveyard is strong, so this cord could probably kite a bit longer. And right here, I'm just chasing. I went around, so I'm able to really cut off this cord. I cut off the cord from the very strong pallets to the point where she's in this corner, and I don't fucking know how that hit. But she went into this corner. Even if she drops this pallet, I break it and she's dead. And now I know Merc was decoding wedding. That is something that I really need to look out for, and as well as this Finn, who is backgates, who could also rescue as well. I have no idea. And at this point, Merc had a lot of time to reposition more than I thought, but also because Quad has a long chair time, and they saved quite early, and I actually did not get an injury on the Merc. They saved early, and actually right here, I'm making sure that I keep cord here, because there's nothing much to kite on right here. So I don't have to like fret. I don't have to stress. Right? I took my time with it, and at some point he was just looping nothing, and I can just outpace her, and now she's down again. So at this point, once again, Merc, because he's injuredless, like healthy, he's probably gonna save again or sell. And what I do have to predict is a save. In this game, I'm probably predicting like they're probably just gonna sell, because Cord really has no rebound at this point, no items, right? So there's really no way to tell where this Merc is, and eventually I have to give it up. I really have to give this up. And actually, I think I see the Merc here right now. And based on no tinnitus in backgate, I play safe a little bit more. But once I lost tinnitus here, I'm like, okay, I can literally just chase this Merc down. And right here, using elbow pads to get to a better position, because he was not in a good position to begin with. Wedding, that is not a place you want to kite Sangria. He makes it to this pallet, but with an injury as a consequence. And all I really have to do is down this Merc as quickly as possible.
What's your mindset as you're taking a break once you hit the mercenary?
My mindset is, it's basically like just I saw Finn. Finn was decoding there. I don't know if it's Finn or aggro, but it's one of them, and I'm literally just gonna down and find them. That's it. Very long chair time, so Merc and Cord. So I'm really like thinking like these survivors could just be waiting it out, just kiting somewhere. So I'm quite aggressive, but this Finn comes a little bit earlier than I expected. Gets the save normally. I know wedding is one of the last ciphers, so I make sure I chair on this cipher. And not only will Finn, injured, not save, but he will probably be on this cipher based on where he was going, as Merc was running into the corner dying. So I can pressure this Finn all I want, and regardless, he won't be able to do this cipher comfortably. I am just getting rid of his items. I'm getting him far, far away. That cipher hasn't even popped yet. That can bite them in the ass later. Get it down on anyone really, but preferably I down Merc and just get him out of the game. And at this point, it is a 4K. If you're ever in a 2v1 with the Hunter, with Cypher Pargus looking like this, there's really no way you can come back from this situation. And that really, no mistake, no major mistake committed by me, and it will be a 4K. All right, Red Church on the Survivor side, and with Pitt playing Hullabaloo, we made sure Goman was not in the picture. Once again, Aron didn't partake in a lot of the ban picks, so we really just we needed a comp. Ivy we've prepped for Sangria. We really wanted to make sure we could catch Sangria on this map. Merc is stable against both Arrow can work, but it does take practice for Sangria. Finn all around probably the best kiter, the most unchaseable on this team, and Meteor, which with practice can work against both.
You can also notice he banned First Officer, which does slightly give us a cue that he might be going Ivy.
Now we just needed a spawn that we could start first as best as we can, and in a place where people will comfortably kite. So with two tie turners, one no borrow time, and then two standard broken windows.
The mindset was that they had items that would counter Ivy, and then they would just break broken windows to make sure they got Sangria. Alright, so first things first, Pit's probably gonna separate his main and his ghost. A little blunder from Yudo, like you guys see, he's going into a blocked cipher. Pit was also able to block Merc's cipher, and then probably everyone understand that Pit is just gonna block every cipher. There isn't much going on. Pit is just going around the map trying to block ciphers, and now he finds his first target, which does run into him. Yudo makes a mistake here and loses a lot of distance. Pit is continuously following. Pit is able to predict that once Meteor looks back, she was gonna use her push, and is able to scare her and cancel her item, which, by the way, if that happens to you as a Meteor, it's a very, very bad situation. You use your item and you also don't get the distance. So now Pit's mindset is probably just follow Meteor, get her with Blink, and now he has a chance, and he gets the Blink down. And because he blocked ciphers early, even though he killed her on Blink, or like 10 seconds after Blink, the ciphers are still a bit behind because of that.
Do you think you could tie this game? Just looking at it right now.
No, no. If the hunter does not make any major mistake, or if the next kite isn't godly, this is a very, very hard game to come back from when it comes to Ivy.
You're gonna have to tell me. You're gonna have to tell everyone how they managed to salvage this. So that is a normal rescue right here. Wait, actually, it is not a normal rescue. I think he gets double hit here. So that's even
Yeah,
worse overall.
yep. And he also used the last elbow pad as well. He actually failed his first elbow pad, which made him so that he was double hittable, and then Pit was able to capitalize. Now, with that said, for survivors, the mindset here should be to regroup and prepare for the next steps. Yuda could have actually went into a locker here. He could have maybe healed himself somewhere far, but because the ghost is nearby, that might have not haven't worked. Pit right now just wants to get Yudo out of the game, which he does. He has full presence. He'll be able to kill him, and then basically he enters the mid game with an extra chair and with a mercenary that doesn't have any items.
Oh wow, he's actually on his second chair only. So they might say, they might not. I actually don't remember, but they do have a second tie turner, and it is looking rough with 3 ciphers remaining, 160, and in total from 3 ciphers, 30%. Only 30% progress.
Yes. Yes. So now it comes mainly to understanding the Ivy mindset. And the biggest thing to learn about Ivy is she always wants to use her full presence once it's available, and she always wants to use her blink whenever available. So you should at least try to make sure that the person she tries to use them on is not someone that will die. Because if that person dies, it's completely different as opposed to if someone just gets injured. And that's what Spencer says all the time. Having a chair and having someone injured is not the same outcome. So now, Roland and Schmiddy were decoding as she was chasing our aeroplanist. She did use her full presence on him, so that means everyone is still safe for a bit longer. You can see that Mercenary did not even try to stay on the cipher because he was playing it too safe, but he knows he is the target. And right now, the most important thing that Roland is doing is he's making sure that he doesn't get 20 no matter what. So he's making sure that he's always on a straight line and that he does not give a 20. With that said, Schmidty comes because he wants to finish the Mercenary Cipher, and then Roland continues to run away because he does not want to die or does not want to give a chance. With that
Yeah,
said,
he's
Pit kept chasing Green in the middle of the open, and now Green just gives a hit after around a minute of passive chase.
Merc is the most vulnerable one. He's been playing the most safe, and Arrow finally has taken a hit, but now look at the ciphers. They're down to 30 and 20.
So all of that because Roland played it super safe. If Roland died, it would have been a completely different game because then you start eating hits for free because you have to rescue and then the game just falls. So now, starting from this point onwards, the survivors know that they have a chance to tie. What happened before does not matter at all.
Wait, they caught up. They caught up in Cypher progress. Merc took out Full Presence and Blink. So a lot of resources invested into finally the chair, which is actually his second chair. And with Finn and his balls, compared to Merc item list, this Finn really Schmidty is playing quite aggressive, and he's making sure he gets progress in, literally right now in her face, and is getting ready to save.
Right now, the mindset is Schmidty is probably gonna save when Green can break the rock, but then Green is able to break the rock because Pit was a bit slow with his TP. If he did TP to Green, the game would not be over. They would just decode the Cypher on Schmidt's side, and they would just save Green. The Cypher would have been primed. But obviously, Pit wasn't able to TP. Green gets the rock broken, Green gets the Cypher primed, and now Schmidty just saves, and it's a 3-man endgame.
So with items, or the lack of items, one jetpack, one ball, Merc can take a detention hit, but that is literally it. Can you tie this game?
Yes, and the biggest reason you can tie this is because Ivy is not set up. If you can pause this for a second, you can see Ivy was not at the gates when they started.
Yes, one main body, one ghost, 2 gates. This ghost just now got to this gate, and main body is still on her way to the other gate while it's actually being done. And keep in mind, since I got a 4K, all they really want is one. That is all that they desire. And right here, I think Pit is just prioritizing both gates, trying to stop them both. But it seems like he's gonna be too late.
And there you go. They were able to tie/3 escape with the dungeon. Schmidty would have probably been able to get it because he still had the ball. But how did you feel when you saw this match play out, Spencer?
I was like, what the heck? I mean, if we just go all the way back, like, I was look at the Cypher progress, look at the Merc items. At least we got 2 survivors that have a lot of items. But the Cypher progress, if you guys ever watch the Pro Leagues, Japan, China, this is not nearly enough Cypher progress. So I was very, very surprised and actually very happy, because all they really needed was one to secure a round win, which is the most important in a best of 5.
Spencer had a 4K in the previous match. Pit has to go for both gates as opposed to doing anything that contends with getting 3 people only. And that is exactly why you see Roland staying at the gate and telling Pit, daring him to kill him, because he knows if he kills him, there is no way he's gonna stop Green's gate from opening. And there it is, a 3-man escape.
Alright, here we now have 3rd round Lakeside. This was our pick, I'm pretty sure. It was actually Seared Grave from me, so I thought that was the best decision to open up all of my options for Hunter. And in this case, Omni actually banned Wax Artist as the second ban. Goatman first ban, that is typical, that'll probably stay the same no matter what. But Wax Artist I actually did not expect, and I considered Wax in this match on this map. And right here, they didn't ban Hullabaloo, so I just decided to take it. Going into the spawn, I really just wanted all my options open. And Embalmer is the easiest chase.
Is there a reason for your chase target?
Oh yeah, I ain't right here in the going into this match. I was like, I'm gonna go for Embalmer. But, and I think it does happen. If Merc looks chaseable, I will go for Merc. That I had that in the back of my head, and actually with this build, this is actually a very kind of a risky build, but also not. I ran detention. I wanted to make sure that I didn't have a crack in my endgame, an opportunity that they could take. So I made sure to get detention. I brought insolence to make sure my early game, I feel like you need down Hullabaloo, and I actually brought teleport to actually maximize my mid and end game, which means I have less early game in this game without a trait. I'm chasing without a trait. Also, teleport could have been for the Embalmer, could have helped me for Embalmer. Once again, I said if Merc looked chaseable, I would go for it. And right here, he's literally here. I think I missed one. Yeah, I missed a clone, and he's literally right here. So I'm just gonna go for it, right? It's a rescuer, uh, has more chair time, but right now the kite like barely started, and all these elbow pads are going. Uh, Still has one more, and I actually get the injury. I get 2 clone hits, and right here I just need to secure these hits, 1 and 2, and then ideally I can flip and then hit, but I was too slow. My spin actually was not even optimal, and now they can kite a little bit longer. So at this point though, I can kill this Merc, and yeah, right here, dead. He's basically coming from across the map, and he can do that because Meteor is a distraction, and Merc has chair time. So right here, I really just needed an injury, but that's a very good flywheel. So I actually, and an item, I literally couldn't get an injury on the rescue. So that was very good. I could have predicted flywheel. I didn't. I get punished. He is injured. Healthy. Merc cannot rebound, and at least I know, and I keep it in my head that Arrow does not have borrow time. So who knows? That might be able to help me later. He was quite close actually. I thought it would be farther, but right here it's just one pallet. I can make this work. I can shouldn't be too difficult for me. And I get the injury. He's gonna go down, and now I can move on. And this is where my TP can actually be very effective.
The hardest part about this match, from your perspective, is the fact that there is no injuries on the board, thanks to the Embalmer and the Flywheel. This means that the next chase is gonna take a while, and you don't necessarily have a lot of leverage to use your TP either.
Yes. So based on the clone, what the clone was telling me, I kind of messed up a little there. I mean, that was good movement. Actually avoided the hit, which was it buys time. And based, I found the embalmer. Right, I assumed he was there, and now I just chase because he's literally itemless. Flywheel, I actually don't hit, so that's very good for me. And I can probably just down him very very soon right here, and he's probably just dead. And I actually decide to TP right away, and he was already this meteor was already running away, making sure to kite, and I just need to down this person as fast as possible. If I TP, all I really want to do is just get my down. I'm slowly catching up. I predicted the win, and right here, that's a slow ball. I actually think I could have terror shocked, but opportunity that I did not take, and right here I just need to get the down. Fire, sorry, yeah, red, white, and then black. So I get black. Actually, don't. The speed dodged my clone, which is actually very good, and now he's dead. So without TP, I actually do not have a choice. Knowing the injury, the healthy person doesn't have borrowed time, which I think actually helps me later. So yeah, right here, I knew he had flywheel. I waited a bit, and he tried to react, but he actually couldn't get it. And now I get this down, and an instant chair. Right, like as soon as the cipher pop, and now I can just chase this person right here. So that's what I'm doing right now, and I have detention, luckily. So I'm trying to predict a meteor right now. I get a I get a color, and right here I try to hit, but I get juked, and right here I still want it down. All I need is a black hit. I get juked. I guess I wasn't quick enough attacking, and I still don't have the down, which is unfortunate. And now, because I didn't get the down so fast, I really just have to decide, do I take the risk of TPing? Do I take the risk? No, I don't. Tournaments, it just sometimes happens where you don't want to take the risk. And based on the cipher progress or the gate progress, and when I chaired, I could have actually TP'd and gotten a 4K, but I did not take that opportunity in this game.
Something to note in that match is if you TP and the person actually hid near you all that time, then you would have actually lost a bit more, and you would have probably got either 2 escaped or 3 escaped. And that's all the difference, because if you were able to kill the person much faster, it gives you time to roam around and make sure the perimeter is secure before you have to TP. But unfortunately, you were not able to, and you didn't choose to TP in the end, and it's a one-man escape.
Now we have Pit again on Lakeside. Third round, we see from the BP that he's avoiding the Seer pick, or the Seer ban, sorry. And that is because we do know Pit is a bomb player. So, yeah, first round. But we actually went here when he did not ban it. To be honest, these looked like just very stable bans, very standard. We couldn't really predict them, but he didn't ban Seer, which could indicate that it could be a bonbon. We took Seer anyways. This comp is just stable. Prioritize strong kiting. Get a one escape, or at least a one escape. Try to tie.
Something to add is we only took Seer because it was the third round, and he didn't he didn't ban it in the end, so we just took it because we can take it for free, and after this we can take it every single game for the rest of the game. With
Yeah.
that said, we already understood that the Hunter was someone that didn't care about Seer, but we just had the mindset that worst case we just protect him and make sure that he can kite if needed.
And now we have this spawn. Waxshard is cornfield, and at this point, Acro with an owl is very strong. Very, very strong. So, actually, he doesn't have too many options here, and Ada is definitely the easier option in this case, which he can still get kited, plus an owl.
So the match starts. Yuda's mindset is obviously just to keep his maximum as much distance as he can. Schmiddy had to go to beach because unfortunately there was no Doc Cipher. Pitt is gonna struggle a lot because this area doesn't allow him to wax through, and he's able to snipe out Schmiddy, which Schmiddy did not mind getting chased just because if the hunter chooses to chase him, the 2 ciphers are already at 30-40%. Alright, now obviously Seer is not the best against Wax Artist, but you can still probably make something work. So Schmidty is making sure that he goes around the wall, around the small boat, so he doesn't get as much wax. Pate is actually patient, he does not hit the owl, and now he does. So that was a bit of a mishap, because Schmidty did have flywheel, and you definitely don't want to get waxed like before. You don't want to get hit before the wax starts on away. But Schmidty is lucky enough that he kites long enough for the wax to start vanishing, and now instead of getting sniped with any bit of wax, he's able to take quite a lot of it. He tries to flywheel, Pitt is able to predict that, and now Schmidty dies, but one cipher is primed, another is 80%. Because of the target switch, the survivor's mindset should be that 2 ciphers are probably far enough, but one is so far behind that you can't win, but you can easily tie.
Seer gets chaired. First officer wanted order. What should the game plan be?
Alright, so with everything that I said, the game plan should be very standard. As long as we get a tie, we're ahead and we put a lot of pressure. Especially because it's Wax, if you starve him from presence, it becomes really difficult for him. So now what Roland is doing is just testing the waters, being like, you wanna come, you wanna come, you wanna let me get the save. So he does not push his luck at all whatsoever, and he uses his teammate Yudo who is able to get close enough just in case if the hunter stays and commits for Roland too long. And now everyone understands there's probably not gonna be a save happening, so they both keep their distance, and we already start decoding the next cipher.
Yeah, so now these two are probably gonna just prepare to kite, and holy shit, he actually TPs to the acro. And a hunter that TPs, they just have to down as fast as possible. Green, his only goal to kite as long as possible.
It's very standard for now. Wax usually has a lot of strength when he TPs, but he does not have full presence, and this is a game changer. If he TP'd with full presence, he's potentially able to get it down within like 10 seconds. Acrobat gets the first hit. Uh, Pit tried
Holy,
to get
good
the wax
flywheel.
bomb,
Good
but that's an
flywheel.
amazing flywheel. This is a game changing flywheel.
He's still kiting. He's going back to walls. And once again, the priority really is just kite as long as you can. And he's kited, I think, 40 seconds. And they're just cypher rushing right now. Cypher rushing as much as they can.
He's still going. He can probably even give it another 20 seconds before he dies as well. So now's green mindset's probably just try to die away from the chair. Yeah, there you go. He tries to win the mind game. If he won the mind game, he would have just died away from the chair, but he wasn't able to. But this is a job well done. From now on, this should be an easy game to tie. One save, the cipher should be primed.
He also still has
Whether
tie tuner. He has tie tuner.
yes, and that is all because we did not rush to go for a save that was very hard to do.
Right, a hit, he missed, and the rescue where Roland actually just didn't get touched. So, well, what do you think? Roland should just save again, right?
Yeah, the Hunter's mindset now is if he saves again, I have no chance to win this match. So he tries to kill Roland, or at least injure him or double hit him here. And he unfortunately fails to do that, and Roland is somehow is able to survive. And now Roland's mindset is probably like, if I use this watch, he doesn't kill me, the cipher is popped, this is a good game. That's it, this is one escape. Or at least a good tie potential. Roland is
Alright.
still able to kite around the objects, but Pate is on his tail, and because he used his watch before detention, before the ciphers popped, his watch will not give him as much time after detention. So once Roland dies, Pate is probably gonna have enough time to chair him and to TP to one of the gates, which means the survivors might have to accept a one escape and just go with a game set tie overall.
Is Yudo making the right play right now?
Yudo right now does not necessarily know what Bit's play is, and he cannot necessarily do the best play because it doesn't exist. Wherever Yudo does, the hunter can just do the opposite and punish him. If Yudo stays on the gate, the hunter could have just TP'd. If Yudo does not stay on the gate, the hunter could have just followed. So right now, Yudo just went with the safest play, but if the survivors want more than just a tie, they really have to push their luck and try to have Acrobat save. Unfortunately, Yudo is not able to kite long enough and also gives a drop down hit, so now this is a 4K potential.
4K potential. Green had to come for save. Yudo did not kite long enough, and now Acro has to do the kiting job again. Enough for Ada to get up and get to this gate. There's no way an Ada will travel across to an open gate. So they're probably just going to commit to this one gate right here that is 30%. And Green is still kiting.
If Green kites any less than he actually does in this match, this would have been a game over because now um, the hunter actually had control of three people at one point, but because Green was able to escape him for so long, it barely gives Yudo enough time to open the gate and for us to take the one escape. So obviously we could have taken the one escape with Green, but the whole mindset the survivors had, which is something that this is an important point. The game plan for the survivors was to get a tie. The hunter got 3K, the game was good, The kite was good. The mid game was good. From the midpoint onward, the survivors had already made the choice that we're gonna tie this match, and because of that, that's Green went back for the save. He tried his luck to get a save and tried to go for a tie, but unfortunately, Yudo was not able to kite long enough for this play to be good. And then, like everyone just saw, Green had to carry again to make sure that we still do not get 4K and we still get that one escape that we were gonna get originally.
GG's.
Jeez.
And now we are round 4, first half on Chinatown. I'm going first once again. And I start off the bands with Seer Ante, just making sure that I have all options open. And with that, they decide to ban Witch. And they are actually, if we fast forward, I'm sticking with standard bans. And they're out to counter all the hunters that I have left with Weeping, with Grave, with Anto, with Ada. I decided to go with Wax in this scenario, and it's actually quite hard with Wax. The only decent option I really had was this Ada right here. When I spawned here, all I really had in mind was chase this Ada right here.
Something to note is Ada matchup versus Wax is actually interesting because you have a lot more chances to get her to like more above 80 Wax and hit them just because they eat 2 hits before they eat 3 hits before they die.
Yeah, so the match started with me actually sniping the Ada. They started with 80 wax, but the pallet, good pallet drop. The pallet's very strong. These two windows, it buys a little bit more time, and I'm just looping around, catching up to this Ada, and I make sure I just steal this hit. Now I'm just doing my best. I'm trying to catch up to this Ada, and at this point, this Ada actually used um, every single OP corner palette right here. So she might actually leave. I'm not sure. By the way, this lag is the stream, the IVT IDV official stream. I primed this Ada, and now I have Warp to just instantly get on her and kill her immediately right here. I thought she'd go upstairs. She didn't. She turned. Uh, that's me kind of seeing where Flywell's at, and the down is right here. The ciphers are actually quite good, and I take my basement. Now, I actually, uh, in the middle of this, I was like, oh shit, there's a grave. Like, I kind of regretted it, but I kind of just lived with it. At least with basement, I can try to outward camp. Right here, I actually see the gravekeeper. There's not much I can do here right now, especially with the power of the items of the possible rescuers, Weeping and Gravekeeper. So they look like, as I'm in this match, they're intending, they just wanna sell. They probably just wanna sell. They don't wanna save basement. And so I really just have to prepare myself for this next chase. And based on the team comp, Anto, even though she might be difficult, is the best chase as opposed to Gravekeeper and Weeping Clown. So now Ada is practically dead, and I actually don't know. I know Grave is here, but I actually don't know where Anto is. And as I said, Anto is my goal. I have no idea where she is. I block a cipher, and now all I have is this TP. I'm like out here hoping it's Anto, but it's actually not Anto. It's Weeping. So that is actually not good for me. I'm actually able to cut off the Weeping, so I might be able to get something here. Might be able to catch up, and all I really can do here is just try to chase, get an injury, maybe a kill. But that flywheel is very big. I actually, with that rocket, I cannot reliably get an injury anymore. Maybe I could have right here. Maybe if I snipe, but I was like, okay, no, I'm just gonna move on. I have to move on. And based on where Grave was when I left him, and now I can actually know where Anto is. Based on Grave info, Weeping info, where they were, I concluded Anto was here, and now I'm just chasing and trying to kill as fast as possible.
Again, that was a game changing flywheel because if you're able to land that hit, you're in much better position to pressure the survivors and you might be able to get a faster chair, which would again be allow you just to put more pressure before the ciphers pop.
Yes. So I have no choice right now but to chase this Anto. That pallet drop actually bought a little bit of time, but she's still without bees will die right now. And I actually, with the knowledge, with everything that's gone on in the midst of this match, I know that the cipher progress is high on the fifth and sixth cipher. So this is actually um, very difficult to make work. Chairing, and now I can decide to TP, but once again, they both actually still have items. And the thing is, I cannot actually guarantee that I can get a fact down if I TP, which is the goal if I TP. So I stick to this Anto, the weakest target out of these three, and I make sure I just prime. I actually don't prime. In 97, and I'm just making sure I get good timing. I actually down her and then hit her right after. I make sure I can just get an instant kill as soon as the pop happens, and I did get that. That's the first step. That's the first step to getting a win in this match. It's very hard to 4K against a Grave with his items and Weeping. I decided I'm gonna try to block the gate, but no, I went back. It was like instinct. Based on tinnitus, it was like instinct. I actually downed this Anto right here. Maybe a misclick right there. And right here, I take the opportunity. I really need this kill. I have to get this kill. I know this guy's flywheel based on the past. Based on the past, I dodge the flywheel and I get this down and I make sure that I just get this chair. I chair ASAP. I chair ASAP and I go back to Anto. At this point, this is like a 3 kill. I'm securing a 3 kill like I did last game. And Anto barely gets up. Barely uses self heal. So if I leave the Anto, they will not be able to get up. And right here, the grave. Fun fact, because this might be interesting. Uh, this grave going in shovel tells me that he's probably going for safe. So I just TP back. I know Anto cannot get up, and Wax Artist absolutely nothing you can do against this. And now it is game over. Anto cannot get up. It is Chinatown with Pit, and I did at least I at least said it in voice chat that this guy plays well. You guys should expect it. So I actually am not sure. I had no idea with this team comp. I didn't partake in it. Same with Aron. So they chose the best comp I think they thought of. The only dangerous, really, the most dangerous kiter is probably and Bomber has nothing but a coffin, and Puppet actually like genuinely has nothing. So Puppet is actually in danger, quite in a bit of danger with this hunter.
Best thing to do against Wheel is to get to a strong window, and as of now, the only person that does not have a good window is the Puppeteer indeed. So this does point Pit towards him, and for good reason.
Yup, right here. It's starting the chase 5 seconds in the back, right here. Instant spike. I mean, what do you think?
This is probably a very hard situation, but the Puppeteer only needs to make sure that he does not fall into a trap.
Falls
Unfortunately, he
into a
goes
trap.
into a trap.
Yeah. Falls into a trap, and that's just 15-second kite. How do you come back? There's no way. There's no. It's like Ivy. Like
Yeah, Wheel or Ivy, these hunters are very, very snowbally hunters, and they're also like very good at either 4K or nothing. And 15-second kite is just very hard to come back to. The best thing to do as survivors, get free saves as much as you can. Roland tries to get a free save. As you can see, he traded his items for it. Still tried his best. The best thing to do, or the most important thing to do right after, is to make sure that the next kite is actually long enough. So now Pete does go for green, and green is in position to actually kite for a bit, but he does get two spikes already, and there you go. This is actually the game, not game changer, but the gameplay that changed the game into his favor once again. So now he already has two chairs And there's already one cipher down, Spencer.
I mean, it's cooked. It is so cooked. And a stuff. Wait, I didn't even remember this. A stuffed rescue. It literally is game over. Prospector, there's not much you can do against a blink. Prospector also had to deal with full presence. There's just not there's not much there. Roland, Weeping Clown probably could have gotten the save, but he failed it and damn the leg on this stream. I mean, failing that save as well, plus a 15-second kite, it's just there's no hope for this.
Another thing to note is at this point, the hardest thing is not necessarily to do the thing you need to come back, but it is to keep the composure mentally to even try to go for a comeback. Roland had only a choice of going for a risky play, or else the cipher progress wouldn't be good, and then he fails. It is mentally game over, and it is game over.
All right, so this is the final match. There is actually no second half in this game. I end it right here, and I think a fun fact people would find interesting is I was at Schmidty's. Schmidty came into my room and said, try to 4 kill, but don't tie because of it. Get 3 at least. I went into that match with those words in my head from Schmidty, and I kept it in my head. I kept it and made sure that it stuck as I went into this BP. Once again, with my BP, Seer, Ada, Grave, and Arrow. These are very standard. You can't really. I'm not shifting to one hunter or another. I just made sure I was stable all the way throughout. And with the Wax Artist ban on Eversleeping, they made sure that my Dream Witch was countered as much as they could. When I whip out this Ann, I'm really betting on a 3 kill. Anto is good against Ann, but I can make work with Auntie, with Barmaid, and with Wildling. So I go into this match.
All right, Spencer. So, what do you have to say to people who say that Anne is a tie hunter?
I get that a lot. It's understandable. With Anne, the reason why you can get more than a tie is the power of her full presence. Anne has, in my opinion, one of the best full presences in this game. If you have to kite a full presence Anne, that is genuinely one of the hardest things to do in this game. Anne's full presence is what makes her stand out, and it actually allows her to win games in some scenarios. But when I spawn here, I'm making sure that I just have all targets. Uh, and I didn't expect Wildling to actually be below me. So that's somewhat of an error on my part, and I just had to deal with it. And in this case, I can either chase Anti or Anto. Those are the closest viable targets for me. And I actually decide to go for the Anti. Here I go straight to middle. Anto is just doing corner house. I at least acknowledge that. I might chase Anto, but yeah, at this point, I'm like, okay, I'm chasing this Anti who's probably going to be at this pallet. And really the priority here is just trying to catch up as fast as possible. Wait for my cats, I throw them out, and I make sure that I can get close enough and jump and hit. Once you get close enough against an Anti, they cannot hit in time. It's kind of ping dependent, but if both have the same ping, the An, when they are close enough, will always stun. And now it's a priority of just hitting the cat once again and using my trait to kill, to secure it down and secure my chair right here. If a Wildling is saving, there's not much I can really do about that. He's very far, but he can get on board. It's actually quite hard to save. It depends to stuff a Wildling, but all I really want here is just full presence. So I take a hit, take another hit. I think my cats were about to expire, so I just exploded them, and that's just a regular save. And now I just have to prioritize downing this Anti as fast as possible. The Antobees were kind of a hindrance right there, and I have to stay on this Anti. I have presence, so it'll be easier. And I have to make sure that these bees are not so dangerous that don't buy a lot of time against me. I explode the cats. I actually am not sure if I can make this window. Ignore the lag from the actual stream, and I actually somehow get that hit. So I just need to make sure that whoever I TP on is not wildling. I probably want to TP. Um, that is the best way I'll get an instant hit. I am an Aron. I can cover distance. I can stun, jump, right? If I TP onto who I know is this Anto right here, I will get a hit. I will get a hit very fast. And from there, I can decide to keep chasing or switch targets right here. I take the hit. I make the biggest cats possible. Anto, actually, there's not much an Anto can do here against full presence. There's not a lot of things survivors can do against full presence and. I explode the cats. It actually baits out flywheel, and I get this chair. Now I just need to make sure I camp. And I actually did not expect a save so early. So the save was not optimal, my camping, and I don't actually get this hit. So the pressure at this point is alleviated. I need to keep it up. I need to keep up hits. I want to hit this barmaid, but it's not certain that I will actually stay and I'll actually stay and commit to her because I have this cipher to worry about. I'm playing safe right now, protecting the cipher. And now, once again, protecting the cipher, but I can't just do anything. I scope out for this Anto. I get nothing, and now I decide to go back closer to the cipher. I still really don't have an idea, but I'm guessing that they are 11 or graveyard. And I find them right here. I want a hit on barmaid, but actually I remember this wildling took took the protection hit. That was very good. And at this point, I know Anto's not here, so whichever cipher Anto decides to do, I will probably just TP and kill her instantly because that is the power of Ant. Still chase because I don't know where Anto is precisely right now. They're not decoding, and that's fine for me. I can pressure these two survivors. Pressure these two, and it's a wildling right here. I can just down, right, because he doesn't have board. Two dumps, full presence, very strong, and now he's down, and once again I can just chair. And now, because that is a new cipher, I can probably just TP and instantly kill Anto right here. Anto is injured, their items, they're not gonna survive very long. Instant down, and now I move on, and now I have to decide to press a wildling trying to do the cipher or stuff this rescue. So this tinnitus kind of makes it harder. Tinnitus block from the wildling, and right here I see the barmaid. Barmaid was basically right in front of me, so I prioritize the camp. Slower decoding than others. I know I have a little bit of time. These are moments that you have to work with by mere seconds. I down this barmaid at a 90% cipher, and if I pick up just in time, my 3k is guaranteed, and now I can go for 4 on this wildling. All I have to do is just make sure I don't lose the wildling, and I chase, commit as hard as I can. He pops at detention. I can just hit him once, get him off board, hit him right here, and he's slower than other survivors on foot. I can just down him, and that is game over.
How did you feel once you finished this match first?
Oh my god. I'm not sure if I actually told you, but in one of my videos, I literally, I yelled to Schmiddy that it's over, and I literally yelled. I don't think I can replicate that. I can't replicate that. I told Schmidty the game is over. We won. I was obviously very happy, especially because Schmidty was he's not pessimistic, but he didn't appear as optimistic as I know he is. Based on how the games were going on his survivor side, he did try his best. Obviously, he didn't get the results that he wanted all the time, and I was really happy. I really needed to make sure that I at least got a win in this match, whether 3k or 4 kill. 4 kill. This was simply, actually it's not simple, it's complex. that I took the opportunities that were presented to me in this match. I made the split-second decisions, and I managed to 4K this game. I finished it.
What do you think that the best and the most important part of this game that allowed you to get the 4K?
I think the biggest point, no one was doing anything. I wasn't chasing. They weren't decoding. They tried to heal, and I found them. So I found them. So when they were trying to come back, I found them and I got back to pressuring. I got back to it. They're not doing anything as long as I chase them. And now I just have to keep an eye on this Anto, who right now is not doing anything. So the team is not gaining anything right now, whereas I'm gaining something right now. I'm about to get this barmaid hit. When they were trying to gain something, I came back. I interrupted them. I'm starting to pressure them again. And I know with time, if I know I have time, I continue pressuring.
That's actually like still mesmerizes me how you're always able to switch from pressuring and doing whatever it's in front of you, and also keeping track of what the others are doing. And you know, you seem that you've learned this art of always context switching between the person, what you're trying to achieve and what the survivors are trying to achieve, and you're always able to appreciate whether the survivors are trying to get something, whether you're the one who's getting something, whether you need to interrupt, whether you need to continue to chase. We saw it obviously with the previous Ivy game, we saw it in this match's Ivy game, and we saw it here again. The survivors are always in positions where they know you're gonna TP, they know you have it, they know you want to do it, yet they cannot do anything because they know any cipher or any progress they try to do, you can just immediately put the pressure back on them and actually get it down and put them in a harder situation.
I also did forget in this game, I'm pretty certain I knew Ansel did not have borrowed time. So I could have used that if I had to, but I did not have to. And once again, you taught me the most. You gave me the boot camp, the lecture after COA 7 with scars. I made sure I applied it in this game and secured the IVT once again.
GG's.
GG's. In creation of this video, I made sure to express my gratitude to Aron. He dedicated part of his busy life to teach me and really help me to get the results that was required to win for me, for Before You. I really wish you could have stuck with us for IVS, but I understand. Thank you, Aron.